Good morning, everybody. So we're already into January. We're deep into 2026. It's the 2nd. And before we know it, it'll be Christmas again. It's that kind of world. Anyway, and I still can't get used to it being so dark here. Anyway, it's 5 minutes past 9, and we're in the Sable. It's not as cold today because it's overcast. By the look of it, there's not as much, still under zero or something, as -1 or something, but not much ice out there. So, and while we're waiting, we're not expecting a lot of people. It's holiday time. People still recovering from New Year's Eve, all that sort of stuff. I just quickly, and I was running late. So, oh, cheap as the tracker. And I just grabbed any photo, but I thought I'd grab 10 photos. You can put 10 photos on the slideshow while people are coming. So I just grabbed the first 10 that were there just for funny stories. So this is actually in Auckland, as you can probably guess, in the middle of the Ocean Globe Race. And you've probably seen that we've got 3 events: MGR, OGR, GGR, and we're actually looking at a transition and a succession plan for our events, both the GGR and the OGR, 31 and the 2030 GGR and the 2031 OGR may be the last ones we are actively involved with. We want to get someone to take them over, but don't despair. I'll never get rid of the MGR. That's our favourite. So anyway, this is a classic story. I think I've nearly died about 4 times in my life, and this was one of them. We had a Lagoon 450, and this was the net on the front of the catamaran, and I broke through the net while we were on the hard, and we'd already ordered a new net. Any long story, I broke through it and I whacked on the ground underneath. It was quite a long way down, and my head landed about less than 15 centimeters from the edge of that anchor there. And I thought I'd injured myself just on the fall. Everyone came running. If I had hit that, I was dead. So that was another interesting story. So replace your nets. That's the cannon beautiful bronze cannon, 17th, 18th century bronze cannon on the island in Tonga, Namuki. So anyway, long story. When we got to the island, we had to clear the scrub. We cleared the scrub, and it's just paradise. We're living in tents when we first got there until everything started getting established. Long story. Why aren't we doing a Globe 580 around Australia yacht race? Because you may have seen that we're looking at staging a race from Sydney all the way to Darwin. I did a big Round Australia race in '88, and it was hugely successful, won by Peter Blake on Steinlager 1. And now all the boys, Guy, in Australia, that's been announced there's going to be a 40th anniversary fully racing around Australia. But the Southern Ocean in this part of the world is not for 580s. And so the best way we can do that for Australia would be to run a race from Sydney around to Darwin and then trailer your boats home after that. So that's not confirmed yet. It's on the agenda. We're discussing it. I've only had one 580 sailor throw their hat in the ring, and if that's the case, it won't happen. So if you're an Australian 580 sailor, you want to do it, think about it, let us know. Sparing a thought for the Setkas racing across the Atlantic right now. There's 5 of them out there doing really well. They've had some tough conditions in the beginning. Some of the usual stuff, 28 to 35 knot solid trades has backed off a bit, and they're getting a reasonable run. But out having a grand adventure. The best boat's Nuts. His boat's called Nuts, which is great. So anyways, Giannis will be happy with that, and we're certainly happy with the 580. So thanks, Giannis, for that. And this is my favourite wind vane. It was my very first commercially bought wind vane for my sailing. Not to be underestimated. There was a new one that came up previously. If you want to have a hot 580, you can put a Navic on the boat. They weigh bugger all. Super sensitive, super powerful, super light, and super cheap, right? They're rebuilding more parts and everything. So don't underestimate a Navic. I'm just waiting to see the first 580 sailor get a Navic, and I've got to tell you, they've taken like 35 footers around the world, all that sort of stuff. Super interesting design concept, with the trim tab on the servo pendulum rudder, and absolutely brilliant. I love my Navic. I've often bought them and given them to people, sailors, because people just don't get it. They're really a unique system, and there's an opportunity there for someone, I reckon, to reproduce them all, mass produce. Boats are selling. Capuchinet is now sold. There's some other, in fact, there's a few boats sold. Capuchinet sold. Origami sold. It's happening. And so if you're thinking of buying boats, don't sit there and watch and wait forever, because it's going to go in a bum's rush. I know there's a bunch of people looking at buying boats for the Transat next year, and some are sitting on the fence waiting until the finish, which is fair enough. But even though there's like 5 boats for sale now, all of a sudden there could be none. So be careful. Get in early. Boom, boom. That was us bringing the cannon up from when we were in Tonga, not far from the island. Long story there. And bloody Explorer. We're now, I don't know whether I mentioned, we're pulling the motor out now to rebuild the motor. So we won't get sailing on Explorer until probably April next year. All fun. Anyway, that's about all I think that's there. Yep, that's it. Now we've got a few people turned up. We wasted time. I still haven't cleaned up the back of my office here, so that's it. And everything's going extremely well on the boats. You're on the tracker. I'm on the tracker. They're absolutely having a ball. Absolutely having a ball. Yeah, kind of fun. Pretty much. It's still running. I'm back. I don't know whether you're still there. Yeah, people are still there. Gee, because that was a nightmare. I was just there, and all of a sudden the screen just went bang, just went blank. said, "Oh, your computer's ran into a problem, and we now need to correct that problem," and blah blah blah. So anyway, it did the whole thing, and then I had to shut it down and restart and so on. And I'll tell you the sad story here. I don't know what's going on, but when we were flying back from Cape Town, the lady sitting next to me, I had my computer in the top locker above the plane, and sadly, when she got up to take her luggage out, she dragged unbeknown to her bag dragged my computer bag out, and it dropped from 2 meters or 2.32 meters from the luggage locker straight onto the deck, right? And so it dropped over 2 meters, and I thought, oh my goodness grief, I wonder if my computer's still working. Fortunately, I was too scared to open it, didn't open it till we got back here, and it's been okay. And I'm wondering whether something got shook up in there. So sorry about that distraction. We're back. Thanks for those that hang on to watching the black screen. Anyway, we're here, so I'll now pull back up on the tracker and catch up to where we were. Just got to just turn it back on again. So anyway, stand by. 312 days into it. Not too bad. I'll just get this on here. Anyway, you can imagine what happens when that happens. I can't shut the system down. So if I hadn't been able to get back on, the Facebook would have just kept black screen rolling, and the same with YouTube. But I don't think I'll be back on YouTube. Can you check the YouTube, Jane? Because I might have to somehow chuck that down. But anyway. Okay, catch my breath. Bring that up there. Put that one on there. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. But if it goes black screen again, it's my computer. Don't despair. Oh, rightio. I lost my rhythm now. Okay, rightio. So, Kerry, tail end of the fleet, but trying to catch up fast. 102-mile day in the last 24 hours. That's purely because of the breeze. It's gone a bit light, but it's coming back today by the look of it. 5.4 knots, and he is currently 3,039 from the finish. 3,039. 3,039. So there's 200 and no, hang on, I'm doing 7 to 8, 213 miles there, 213 miles there, and what did we say? 213 miles there. Oh, jeepers, 213. So that's 40, 50. So Kerry's now 250 miles behind Renault. So anyway, that's the luck of the draw. Josh doing 4.1, 97-mile day. Entrant doing 4.5, 98-mile day. Jasmine doing 91-mile day, 3.8. Apparently sleeping for more than an hour at a time. I always get confused when I see that. How could you not sleep for longer than an hour at a time? Anyway, 5.2 for Eric, 112-mile day, and Christian, 5.2, 111-mile day. Jacob heading over to tail Adam, no doubt, 5.9, 125-mile day. As we go further up, they've had more breeze. The leaders got into that breeze or held the breeze longer. Adam, 5 knots, 128. So he's 128. Jacob's 125. So Adam's pulling away. And look at that. Wow. That's amazing. I just noticed that Adam and Jacob have been boring down on Peeler in the lead pack. 6.4 for Peeler, 126. So Adam did 128. And they're not far behind. So 221 miles to the finish for Adam. So 2,821. So 821. 817. It's only 4 miles behind Peeler. That's a turnaround. That's a bit of fun. Yeah, I'm really wondering because you would think they're not far apart. Okay, to give you a relative distance there, sideways. It's only 8 miles. They've got to be getting similar weather, okay? And so something's happened there because Jacob and Adam have really nailed it alongside. Let's see what the current's doing. Wrong way. Current. Is there a current there? No, it's sailing. Wow. So that's going to make life interesting. Maybe Adam and Jacob have got their sights set on Renault. So that's kind of cool. Dan, 5.9, 126-mile day. So the others have caught up 2 miles. And there's the biggest day run in the fleet. Once again, Renault, 129 nautical miles. So that's kind of interesting. He's holding his own. However, you can see there, distance from Renault, 87 versus 87, so that's 13, plus another 21, so 13, that's 13, so that's 34. Adam is only 34 miles behind Renault. So that's cool. Going to be a bit of fun. Good to see. Keeps it all very interesting. And Dan currently running in second place here. Transom to transom. Oh, we can do it 2 ways. 15 miles behind. Don't go to sleep, Daniel. Get your act into gear. Get up there. And I don't know what happened to the bucket that was on the bottom of Renault's keel, but they're all having a lot of fun. And they've got trade wind sailing. It's just unbelievable. They're not used to that because it was, and the shipping is less. The seas are really very low, right? Hang on a sec. The sea state, you'll see here, if we look at the waves, beautiful conditions. There's a bit of sea out to the side here, but that would be on, 1 metre seas at the moment, 1.5, something like that. All very cool. So all in all, temperatures are getting more interesting, getting a bit warmer, quite pleasant, cooler nights. So let's see what the next couple of days is going to bring. I think that'll do. See, in fact, it's always fun to see the big picture, see what's happening over the South Atlantic High. Still hasn't joined together a bit. There's a bit of angst there. That might be, oh boy, that's very confusing there. But that's what's squashing it up. But there's your South Atlantic High there. They're in the perfect spot. We mentioned it before, good sailing ahead. So now we'll come up and just watch the next couple of days. We go every 3 hours. Boom, 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 boom. They've all got a nice breeze. Well, there's a bit of a hole there for the leaders. Maybe there's going to be some compression. You can see just in front here, there's this sort of, the centre is pushing a little bit to the east, and it's a little bit less wind there than maybe what Kerry's got. Kerry's going out to the side because there's obviously more breeze here on the squeeze up against the coast, so that's why he's going out to the side. So that may be an advantage coming forward. This is probably a bit too small now. Up to here, so there's the third. Oh, I'm going to hit that. It's not running through. Every time I change something, I can keep hitting that button. So there's the third. Yep, carries into the breeze out there. That's why he's gone out to the side. So that's a good move. The others, there's probably not much point, and it's all filling in. So Kerry will probably show him up. He could catch up a bit there. He needs to catch up a bit. And the others have got plenty of breeze. There's the fourth. There's the fifth. And there's the fifth. So that's 3 days ahead. So they're going to be, the pack is going to be at least 300 miles ahead. It's going to be up there somewhere. So still favouring the eastern side of the course. So, okay, anyway, that's what you get in the trade, so not a lot more to talk about, but they're all certainly enjoying the ride, that's for sure. And I've got some entrant reports, so we'll come back here. For those are still there. Okay, thank you. Rightio. Here we go. We're gonna hang on a sec. We're going to actually run a schedule on the last leg to reports. Entrant reports, top of the list. Rightio. Nikki, that was 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday. We got that one. We got Renault's today. Oh, there's only one from Eric Sunbear. Enjoying the great conditions at the moment, making good ground. Lots of humpbacks about and a few ships. Boat and skipper are well. Had a wonderful party on New Year's Eve. Cheers, Eric. So that's it. Okay. All pretty straightforward. I hope you're still enjoying. I don't know what happens with holidays now. I think most people are still on holidays, but back to work soon. Mini grade base. Oh, Jane must put that in. Computer suddenly turned off. Don trying to restart the computer. Yeah. Pull a seagull. Anyone else in the seagull outboards? The first outboard I ever bought for me was a seagull. And in my history with seagulls, I had 2 stolen off the back of my boat. Anyway, they're still around. Good motors. Glasgow 58, Don's computer suddenly off. Oh, that's Jane. John's computer. Mini Globose computer suddenly turned off. Oh, thank you, Jane. Yes, still running. Okay. All good. Radio. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow if I remember to get here in time, because it might not be so dark. It's overcast and grey today. So there you go. Anyway, back into it. See you later. Thanks for following, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.